And we're live.
Definitely.
Am I? Okay, great. I have been in the last little while receiving instructions from a very special gentleman. His name is Loki Yong, and he's been selflessly and more than that, patiently helping me through some of the technical details that I've been wanting to learn for the last, I'd say, what is it, 2018? For the last 8 years from people who are experts in the field. And people who are experts in the field of social media, of internet marketing, etc., I began to understand that expert in some cases may be two words, not one word. And so, all that aside, I wanted to learn. I wanted to be able to understand how to get my message across because you may have a wonderful, beautiful message to share with the world. You may have something that you want to give and offer. You may have the heart and um, and the zeal and the inner conviction that your purpose on earth will be to somehow push humanity forward or to somehow be able to create a better life for a lot of people, assuming you have one for yourself. You see, a lot of people think that the old adage, fake it until you make it, holds water, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Trust me, I counsel a lot of people in psychology. You begin to realize that the show that people have, the selfies that they take, they hold the phones in front of them and they go, are ways in which people want to appear to others, which is not how they appear to themselves. So, in all of the relationships I've ever had, whether it's been one on one or whether it's been you connected to me relative wise, one of my relatives, so you had no choice, or you're part of my social media, social circles, I've always wanted to teach you one thing to be internally referenced instead of externally referenced. Now, what does that mean? That means if you do a simple thing, as the secret or even the meta secret teaches you, to affirm to yourself that you are enough, that you are valuable, that you are someone that will and is making a difference just by your being alive, just by your being here on this planet. And so, as a result, teaching you to be internally referenced means when you say, I affirm that wealth is my birthright, I affirm that abundance is my destiny, you begin by feeling very sure about it. And you begin by understanding that this is true, regardless of the circumstances that you find yourself in. And so, in doing so, you begin to realize that there are certain truths that people have, and these truths come across in the way in which they bring their message to you. It could be music, as you are hearing in the background. It could be through a video that somebody may create. It could be a live broadcast like this, or it could be a book. It could be a video that they may have created, or some other product, a statue that they've carved all the years that their life and put their entire being into it. Whatever it is, that creation stands for everything that they want to convey to you about the truth of their life. And most of these people that you see in social media are not exactly what they seem. The most depressed of people can appear the most happy of people. And the most in love of people who seem to know what love is are the ones who desperately need love to begin with. And so they are codependent. And when you externally reference, that codependency grows. So I've been teaching a very unpopular message. And that unpopular message is that you need to be able to reference no one but yourself. You need to be able to understand one very important fact that there is nobody that's going to love you better than you. No one knows your needs better than you. No one knows your pain, your past, your stuff you've had to deal with, your traumas, your uphill battles, your whatever decisions you've had to make that defined you. Those things are very important. And so, in the course of my journey, I have been in the last 8 years or so trying to, I wouldn't say diminish myself so much. I've been trying to head into nothingness, not nothingness, but nothingness. I didn't want to be anything. I didn't want to be who I was before Mel Gill, Dr. Mel Gill, whatever the case might be. I didn't want to be this motivational speaker, rah rah, an Anthony Robbins wannabe or Deepak Chopra clone. I just wanted to be who I wanted to be, basically. Just live in the moment without anybody's expectations defining what my next move is. So I've been doing that all along and turning inside more and more and more and away from relationships that eventually ended up being madder than hell at me. But you know what? I don't blame those people because they need somebody, and that somebody is not me. The point of life is simply this: if I were to be able to create something of value for you, I want to do that. Why? Because I don't have a lot of time on this planet, because I've been through so much, and I want you not to go through the same pitfalls, the same hurts, the same traps, the same mindsets that hold you limited in the places where you find yourself in a quagmire you can't pull yourself out of, like a quicksand. The more you struggle emotionally, the deeper you fall. I wanted people who were taking these selfies to be able to realize that the biggest, bestest selfie, excuse the grammar, would be the one that you take with a mirror and not with a camera. Because the camera is meant to show to other people, but the mirror is meant to show to you. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Who do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see a man or a woman who is successful, and is that just a show for other people? Do you see a man or a woman who is happy, regardless of your success? And how do you measure this success anyway? You use money, then that's not the yardstick to use. It will never make you happy because you will never have enough. Is it by the stuff you surround yourself with, the cars, the houses, the homes, the toys? These will not define you because those change from year to year. And what somebody else has, you want to have that as well, but better, bigger, shinier. When you do comparatives like that, it becomes a little bit difficult. That's why I've decided all along, as I was teaching people, mm, to be calm in the face of all adversity. I used to tell my son many years ago when he first started and he was plagued by a lot of inner demons, CTSD, right? CTSD on his computer. And he asked me, what does that mean? Calm the fuck down. That's what it means. Calm the fuck down. Really calm down. Just calm down, breathe. Because ultimately, you don't control anything. You have an illusion of control, but there is the fact that you have to be comfortable with that there are a lot of things you can direct, but you cannot control. You can direct the flow of your life, but you cannot control. You can direct the flow of a boat down a stream heading towards a waterfall, but you cannot control it. Ultimately, destiny is destiny. It's going to take you over wherever it's going to take you because all of life flows in that stream. The more you relax, the more energy you'll have, the more fun you will have, the more ability to see the environment as it passes by instead of as it flashes by. So, in a long winded fashion, I'm asking you a question. Something I used to do 10 years ago. I used to counsel people on a daily basis on radio, actually more than 10 years ago. Holy crap, 18 years ago. For 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 7 years. I was the voice of Uncommon Sense on News Radio 938. That's in those of you who are in Singapore, that's FM. It's on your FM dial. It's 93.8 FM. And I used to be that person to help you with live calls and solve your problems. And most of the therapeutic metaphors and stories and details that I shared with you were from this idea that you can focus on solutions and get further ahead than if you focus on problems and their origins and and the epigenetics of where it began and how it began and your relationship with your parents, etc., etc., etc. I take you past that and tell you one simple thing: you're here, you want to be there. What do you need to do to get there? Whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, whatever the case might be, and you can get there together. I stopped doing that for a long time, created the movie The Meta Secret, and now working on another movie called Anything is Possible. And it's not some motivational hoo ha, it's basically trying to help you understand yourself in the world, understand what you're doing in the world, and whether or not it makes sense to you. And the more you begin to realize that your life is meant to be a lot more, and you are meant to have a lot more fun, and that you're meant to have a lot more abundance and freedom, then your relationships will also ease up. And you don't have to put people in the prisons of your expectations. And that's what I want to free you from. I want to free you from your own expectations, but I also want to free you and liberate you from the prisons that other people put you in. And that's where this self-referencing and externally referencing and codependency comes in. I'm an independent, so it's going to be very frustrating to love a person like me because I'm free. I'm not bound by what you expect of me. I am just who I am. If you like it, spend more time with me. If you don't, then spend less time with me. It's okay. If I can help you love more freely, that's even better. No displays of jealousy and all of that. Those are things that you deal with on a codependency level. You know, you're loving him more than me. You're loving her more than me. Is okay, all right. You know, that's cool. That's things that children have to deal with. A certain kind of immaturity that you have to deal with, and it's not real life. I mean, to be mentally and emotionally mature is a whole different thing than to be chronologically mature. You could be in an adult body. You could be 60, 80, 90 years old and still be emotionally immature. You don't necessarily, the funny thing is that age does not bring with it enlightenment. And that's the funny thing. So again, long-winded way, I apologize. My question to you is, should I go back to this? Should I now begin broadcasting on Facebook and on this new thing that Loki has taught me? I mean, this man is sitting in the corner over there wondering when the hell I'm going to finish with this. I said, listen, I have something to do before you start to continue doing this. Um, and he's teaching me everything. I mean, oh my God! Every time he teaches me, what has it been? A week, Loki? A week that he taught me what the inner workings of Facebook was in the social media hoo-ha behind it and the analytics and everything else. Then now he teaches me what. I mean, we're only halfway through. He teaches me what is behind YouTube, and I'm going, oh my God! Or what if I knew this existed? I would be utilizing it as I'm utilizing it now and testing. This is my first real broadcast, and I'm going to continue broadcasting for a while. Um, short, short announcement before we begin. Before I begin asking the question directly. Um, Friday, the 4th of May at 9 p.m. Singapore time, I'm going to broadcast on this channel, this YouTube channel that I've just created, Dr. Mel Gill channel. Come here and I will be answering your questions live as well. There's a column here that you can write your questions, I think, and somehow we're going to interact. And I hope that we can also take it live on Facebook at the same time. It's time for me to come back and try and help you as much as I can. I spent a lot of time in thinking, feeling, relating. Now, before I ask the question again, Internally referenced when it comes to affirmations is this: when you are given an affirmation by someone or someone like me that fits you, that works with you, and understands how your mind operates and the mechanisms with which your mind uses to operate. In other words, are you a person that runs towards a goal or away from a goal that you don't want to have? Mm, and you say the affirmation, and the affirmation could be, I'm beautiful, I'm enough. And if you are internally referenced, you feel it. And that affirmation sparks an emotion inside of you that swells, and you go, I'm enough. This is it. I'm amazing. I'm wonderful. And you start to sing songs like Amazing Me. Um, Externally referenced is this: reading the same affirmations and going, I'm enough. I'm beautiful. What do you think? What do you think? Do you agree? And seeking consensus from people around you and your loved ones. It's not their job to look after you emotionally. It's their job to have fun. I mean, they're on a path themselves. What do they know? And somewhere along the way, they would like to experience what life is like with you. So sometimes the most simple of things can be deduced from poems written in 1955 by a fellow named Max Ehrman called the Siddhartha. And I say that in all my seminars since 1991. Sometimes it could be a song from Houston, who is no longer with us. Song is called One Moment in Time. I've been playing this song since 1991 in all of my master trainer programs. My job has been, quote unquote, I gave myself this job, I called it a higher calling, is to create master trainers throughout the world. People who are teachers, who are masters at their craft. And not only that, who have a charisma that exudes from every pore on their body when they're on stage. Be able to modulate their voice so that they can take their message forward and to be able to feel completely the person in front of them, the student, and to direct them where they need to go. Not command them, not tell them to go in that particular place, but to direct them. And that's all we can do is direct our thoughts. We can direct our lives as much as we can, but we can't decide the outcome because that a lot depends on many things that's all around us. So, question after all of that. The question is this: would you like me to continue teaching directly, one on one, on Facebook, or through this mechanism, YouTube, streaming live, uh, to counsel you, teach you, and train you until the day that I am no longer here? If you would, please make a comment below and let me know after you finished watching this video. This is my first ever. It'll be very interesting. Let me know. I'm curious. And let me leave you with one thought. A long time ago, when I started and decided to motivate and change the world in a different way, not like Chopra, not like Anthony Robbins wannabe or Deepak Chopra clone, um, but as the first Mel Gill. It's a poem by Max Ehrman that I used to utter at every closing of every seminar. And I wanted people to realize that sometimes the simple things in life are all that you need to make yourself happy, to be able to direct your thoughts every moment of every day into the direction of happiness. You have a choice. Things will happen. They're not always good things. Sometimes they're good things, sometimes they're bad things. Sometimes they're pleasant, unpleasant. You decide what the comparatives are. But it's how you react to them that will make all the difference. You may have a dream or an aspiration that you're pursuing, and that will become broken at some point by others, by you, by circumstances beyond your control. You don't know. But it's the lesson is not to be fearful and to retreat in your shell. The lesson is not to hate other people. The lesson is not to avoid love. The lesson is to open more. It's like opening up the exterior that hides the gold, that hides the preciousness, uh, the opening of the casing of the seed so that the seed can transform into a giant oak, a tree. And Max Ehrmann begins it like this: go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant, for they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. So take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond the wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, there is no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams. It is still a beautiful world. Be careful and be cheerful. Strive to be happy. If you'd like me to teach you, make a comment. If you'd like me to continue these live broadcasts, make a comment. I'd love to hear from you. You're listening to Dr. Mel Gill. This is Uncommon Sense. We will talk again on Friday, 9 p.m. Singapore time, 9 a.m. New York time. Have a beautiful day.